President Sports Program on BOC Internet Media. Ryan Hartson back with Kim Kersenakis here. Well, I am Jim Kersenakis. I gotta switch that up, but that doesn't matter. We're talking about baseball again, Ryan.
Yeah, isn't it great? Don't we just love baseball? Now, listen, there's been something coming up with everybody. Apparently, the Players Association in particular in baseball
Okay.
wants to
It's a snapshot of Cardinals.
wants to change the playoff system. Wants to realign divisions and create a new playoff system, which I'm in favor of because baseball is so anal retentive and conservative and locked in this stupid sense of tradition that doesn't make any sense. You can still maintain your tradition with being progressive. Just look at the NFL. They do it every day. The NFL, that's why the NFL is the best. They have learned how to improve their league while still maintaining some sense of tradition, or at least they pretend to. I don't really feel the need to maintain tradition.
Right.
I think it's always good to get better. I don't understand people that want to stay in the past. It makes no sense to me, which is why the Republican Party lost me, politically anyway. And so baseball wants to improve itself, I think. At least some people in baseball want to
remember when
improve
they
themselves.
added interleague and that whole controversy?
Yeah. Why was that controversial? Hey, all the teams should play each other. What? That's stupid. like there's some things that they just can't get over, and I want to participate in the realigning process. I can do it. I've got a plan here. Tim likes parts of it. Some parts he doesn't like. I can't understand why he didn't start this, but whatever. And we'll just get into it.
Yeah, no, I did.
Okay.
I just didn't get to it.
Alright.
Phone call.
All right. So here we go.
Okay.
Here's my plan for realigning baseball to realign the playoffs. Number 1, scrap the divisions. Get rid of them. I don't know why we have them in any sport, really. You don't need divisions to decide who the best teams are. Because at the end of the best example of that is a 7-9 team won the NFC West in the NFL last year. I know it's the exception, it's not the rule, but every year it happens where a crappy team wins some division and some other team, which is clearly better than them, is in an impossible division and doesn't get in. So what you do is you scrap divisions completely in both leagues, and I'm going to let more teams in. 6 teams in each league getting in. By record, the top 6 teams in the MLB. And if I could get the current standings. Okay, here we go. So, according to record, it would be Boston, right? Boston in the American League, Boston, the Yankees. Am I counting right? Yeah. Boston, the Yankees, Detroit, Cleveland, Texas,
and Tampa Bay. 6.
Boston, the Yankees, Texas, Cleveland, Tampa Bay.
So who'd be playing each other then? That would be...
You'd seed them.
Yeah.
You'd seed Boston 1, New York 2, Cleveland 3. I wrote them down wrong. Texas 4, Tampa 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need a 16.
You're missing...
I forgot to write down Detroit. Does Detroit have a better record than Tampa?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. 5, 6. So Boston would play the Rays, Yankees would play the Tigers, and the Rangers would play the Indians. And that's how I'd do it. Forget divisions. I don't know why we have them. You don't need them. So this would be the American League. I'm not going to do it in the National League. You get the point. Okay? Even out the leagues would be my next one. So even in theory, this might not work because you might have these teams in different places. Because you could do a lot of different things with realigning them. You don't have to just take one team. Which league has more teams?
The NL.
The NL. Okay, so you're not just going to take the extra NL team and put it in the American League. You don't have to do that. You can put teams wherever you want them. Personally, I'd put the Red Sox and Yankees in different leagues.
Really?
I know it sounds crazy, but think about it. From a ratings perspective, and that's what all this is about. This is about money. This is about making money. How much money would you make on a Yankees Red Sox World Series? Good God. And it could happen. These are arguably the two best teams in baseball, two of the 5 or 6 best teams in baseball right now. The Yankees and the Red Sox. It could happen. Mm-hmm. A Yankees Red Sox World Series. I would pay to see that. I would try to go to those games. That's phenomenal. And I hate baseball. That would be spectacular. A Yankees Red Sox World Series. That would be unbelievable. And they're still going to play each other in the regular season because of the last or the second to last point. Everybody plays everybody. Screw tradition, screw divisions, screw rivalries. You can do it so every single team plays every other team in the MLB. Just the entirety, just everybody plays everybody X amount of times. And I would assume you would play your own league more than you would play, so National League teams, you would play everybody in the National League a percentage higher of the time than you would play all of the American League. But just everybody plays everybody. You set it up so it's easy for travel for your own team. Only have one long road trip instead of, they have you have like 2 or 3 long road trips now, don't you?
Yeah.
2 or 3 long road trips where you're on the other coast even.
Yeah, right.
And that's hazardous and it costs too much money. So you can make it. So this plan makes it. You're going to get better revenue because you're going to have more playoff games. You're going to make more money out of epic World Series like Yankees Red Sox, and you even out the leagues, which I think is only good. And this gets all these stupid purists up in a, gets their gets them mad. I had a better analogy in my head, but it couldn't.
Get to mad.
I couldn't formulate the words. But I think my plan is spectacular. Oh, and most importantly, I want a DH in both leagues.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I want a DH in both leagues because there is no reason on God's green earth a pitcher should be swinging a bat ever. And you can argue Carlos Zambrano with me. He's the exception, not the rule. You can argue Babe Ruth with me. That was in the 1920s and 30s. You're never going to have an athlete like Babe Ruth again. And trust me, a guy that can eat 5 hot dogs and then go and hit 4 home runs in a game is an athlete. And then he goes and he pitches a shutout on top of that. You're never going to see a Babe Ruth again. These guys that can pitch and hit equally well, arguably better hitters than pitchers. You're never going to see a Babe Ruth in this league again. It's a specialty sport where you each have your own individual job. Cliff Lee probably hits about 140. You don't want him in the lineup every day.
Probably even less than that. I mean, the guy spent so many years in the AL and then coming to the NL, and hey, he's got a bat every day.
Exactly.
Every day he pitches
every 5 days. So you need a DH in both leagues, and I think that makes it better, makes it more exciting. You have now, instead of 8 opportunities in the National League for a hit, you have 9 opportunities. All 9 spots in the order have an opportunity to get a hit. Mm-hmm. Because even the worst hitter in the MLB is still a pro.
That's an interesting thing. Perhaps that's the reason why the American League seems so much more competitive than the National League all the time.
Yeah, because they have a DH. They have more people that can hit. That's why the hitters are better. That's why the pitchers are better too, because they're not getting hurt swinging the bat.
Yeah, right.
How many times have we heard in the National League someone getting hurt in batting practice? It happens all the time.
Yeah, right.
Strained hamstring trying to take BP.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So. That's what I want to do. No, in conclusion, 6 teams in, meaning the top 2 teams get a bye, and the bottom 4 fight it out. So maybe the seeding thing wouldn't work. Yeah, because mathematically you would move on and only have 3 teams left. So instead, Boston and New York would get a bye week. They would get a bye round.
So it's kind of like
the NFL. It's the NFL system exactly.
Okay, yeah.
You get a bye, and these bottom 4 that are fighting it out, you only give them a 3-game series. You give them a 3-game series, and then your DS is a 5-game series, as is the CS, and then your World Series is a 7-game series. Is my math right? Did I have enough series in there?
Yes.
Wild card, DS, CS. Yeah, that's right. That's the NFL. So basically, this literally is the NFL business model and scrapping the divisions, even out the leagues, DH in both leagues. Tim, what do you think of my fantastic plan?
Well, it's pretty good, but no way it's gonna happen.
Why do you say that? I mean, this is a legitimate thing that they are actually talking about. They're talking about a ton of people are talking about doing this.
Yeah, but this is just changing so much, you know.
I know.
It's,
Listen, if you're gonna change, screw it. Let's change the whole damn thing.
But maybe they do it over time. But you know, I was thinking, what if you kept the divisions and then the division champions get a bye week?
But you'd have three. You'd have three division champions.
Yeah,
you can't have
right,
3 bye weeks.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know.
I suppose you could have divisions, because
I kind of like keeping the divisions because you get like the regular season rivalries. You know, like
why do they matter?
They don't matter, but you got to make the regular season interesting somehow. I
Why?
mean, it's 162 games, right?
The NBA's regular season isn't interesting, and you're still gonna watch the marquee matchups. Did you not watch Heat Lakers on Christmas Day? I'm not asking you because you don't watch anything, but of course you did.
No, but I was interested.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Heat Lakers.
Everybody's interested. I mean, there's still gonna be big games. You might have big games that you've never seen before. With this, you know, interleague play isn't even a conversation anymore because everything is interleague. Why is there a separation between these two leagues? It makes no sense to me. But it's been there for 150 years. Big deal. We've had things that have been there for 150 years that aren't any good. We've had a privatized healthcare system for 150 years. How's that gone? Nowhere. And we don't talk about tradition with that. Yeah. So I think a lot of this is being afraid. I think we're afraid to change. But if you're gonna have divisions, do it regionally. I mean, just make it a whole regional thing where you could have, like I'm saying, mix up the leagues. Don't keep everything the same place. Mix up the leagues. Because you could have a super duper epic powerhouse division with Red Sox, Yankees, Phillies, Braves. And then throw in 2 crappy teams in there, the Nationals and the Orioles, that'll just get the shit beat out of them. And then you could have a mediocre team where you could have a Toronto, a Cleveland, a Detroit, the Cubs. And then out west, you've got a mediocre west with Dodgers, the Mariners, the Diamondbacks, and then you'll have a powerhouse west that'll have your Angels and your there really aren't too many powerhouse teams out west anyway. You see what I'm doing? I would organize it by like how much money they spend, because you're going to be spending the same amount of money in comparison to the superpowers all the time. Right? The Royals are never going to be spending more money than the Yankees, ever. Unless by some miracle they decide to revenue share and get a salary cap, which is something that will never happen in baseball. My plan is more likely to happen than revenue sharing and salary cap. Do we like the DH in both leagues?
Yeah, I definitely like the DH in both leagues. You know, I mean, Carlos Zambrano winning the Silver Slugger every year for pitchers. Why do they even give out a Silver Slugger?
Who cares? Pitchers should
Good
not
job.
be hitting.
Yeah, you can
Okay,
hit
so
a base hit every once in a while.
JMFPSP, the realignment plan. You and I together will take the pieces that I like, and we'll take the pieces that you like, and we'll make one plan that we can both agree on. And listen, I know it doesn't seem like it sometimes, but I'm a reasonable individual. We can do this. How much time do we have? Because we might have to take another break. Ooh. We'll power through it.
Okay.
Keep it under 20 minutes if we can.
All
right. Do we like the 6 teams? Let me read off my plan. 6 teams get in. Do we like that?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, 6 teams in each league. 6 teams. Do we like... You want divisions.
I want divisions.
I
mean, it wouldn't mean
I'm
as
open
much.
to anything. I just want to change stuff.
Yeah, I mean, divisions wouldn't mean as much, but I think just for rivalry's sake.
Yeah,
you know?
Bob Costas this morning said he wants to keep the sanctity of the divisions, and I'm like, get over it. Divisions don't matter. We don't care about divisions in any other sport.
But so much a part of baseball is, division races. I mean, if it doesn't work out, you could always take it out later and just have the teams.
I don't think we should have division races. I think we should just try to position yourself
amongst the whole league
to be the best in the playoffs.
Okay.
But hey, you know what? We'll have divisions. Can we split it? Can you split it up so you have? Is 30 divisible by 4? In any way, shape, or form? Because I want 4 divisions. Because I love the NFL model. I think the NFL model is as close to perfect as you can get. So do you want to keep the NFL model? and do 4 divisions as opposed to 3?
Uh,
4 divisions and 4 divisions and 2 wild cards is what your plan could be, unless you want to do 3 divisions. 3, because you would be suggesting to keep the current in, you would have 3 divisions and 3 wild cards, and that's really getting ridiculous with the wild cards.
Yeah, right.
Unless you want to go back to 5 teams.
I think you could have 4 divisions. Is that an extra one?
Yeah. 4 divisions, 2 wild cards in each league. All of this is in each league, of course.
Yeah.
What else do we like? DH in both leagues. Yeah, we already said we like that. DH in both leagues. And everybody play. Do we like the scheduling, or do you want to keep everything league specific?
No, I like the scheduling where you have more options available, but
So everybody plays everybody kind of a thing?
yeah.
Okay. Everybody plays everybody. Okay, so in theory, I just want to show how this would work out. You take, let's say there's 4 divisions: a north, a south, an east, and a west. So you're splitting up the central. I don't know what you would do, because there's already 4. There's 5 teams here. 2, 3, 4, 5. So how would you get this? Especially in the National League has more teams. So let's do the National League. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you got 5 teams here. Let's say the extra team is the Padres and they go to the AL.
Actually, wouldn't you take one from the Central though?
Okay.
Because that's only 6.
Let's do the Brewers were in the American League before, so let's put them there.
Right.
Let's say the Brewers are in the AL. And then you've got, see, because you got 5 teams. This is retarded. We have to just scrap the whole thing. Like, I can't do this with looking at the actual system, so let's just not worry about that. However you want to put it up, you'd have 4 divisions: a north, a south, an east, and a west, along with the 2 wild cards that would come out of that. Obviously, the best records that didn't win their division. And how would you structure the actual playoffs? Would you have an NFL model?
Yeah, I'd say.
Okay. So let's say a wild card round. What number of series? I said 3-game series. What would you want?
I think 5-game series.
5 games?
For the first 2, and then it becomes 7.
Okay. 5 games. So you want 5 games for the wild card, 5 games for the divisional or the DS.
Yeah.
And then 7 for CS and World Series.
Yeah.
So just like it is now.
Right.
See, I think you gotta have 3 games here, and then 5.
Yeah, I think 3 in the wild card could be reasonable because
Okay. So we'll do that. So we'll do 3 games in the wild card, 5 games in the divisional. Then do you still want 7 in the CS?
Yeah.
Okay, 7 CS, 7 World Series. Okay, so you want 3 wild card round, 5 games in the divisional, 7 CS, 7 World Series. So that's our plan. Our joint plan: 6 teams, 4 divisions, 2 wild cards, DH in both leagues. Everybody plays everybody in the regular season. The wild card round would be 3 games. The divisional round would be 5 games, or the DS would be a 5-game series. 7 games in the CS, 7 games in your World Series. That is the JMFPSP Joint Realignment Plan.
The official plan.
The official plan. You like it?
Yeah, I like it.
I'm happy. I hope
it's out there.
I hope they do something. Like, I think they're just gonna argue about it, and then it's just gonna simmer, and then just nothing's gonna happen.
But it's just gonna be like, okay, we're keeping tradition.
That's usually what happens in this crappy sport.
Right.
The most regressive, conservative, anal retentive, horrible sport.
Or they'll end up doing one of these things and then nothing else or something like that. And then,
yeah.
That would still be a huge controversy.
And then they would just go, all right, we're just gonna go to 4 divisions, and we're just gonna keep 1 wild card or something stupid. And the DH will never be in both leagues. They'll never even out the leagues. The stuff that needs to get done will never get done because Bud Selig is a joke.
DH has been a long-standing controversy ever since they implemented that. So.
Why? It's a great idea.
Yeah,
it's a fantastic
I'm for
idea.
It, yeah, make it more even.
All right, good stuff. That was way more fun than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
All right.
Debating baseball on Jim Miller Frozen Sports Program. Yeah, make sure you follow us on Twitter and become a fan of us on Facebook for BWC Internet Media and BWC Sports Radio on Twitter. So, Tim Kirshniggis with Ryan Hartson. This is Jim Miller Frozen Sports Room.
On BWC Internet Radio.